All right, hello everyone. It's Ranger here, and today we're going to be looking at the July, revenue report for the Gacha games that's been going on right now. I am very curious to see how things are all going to be looking like overall, especially with the different banners that have been popping out in the different Gacha games. Like for the Fate collab that we have for HSR, um, as well as the new Nefita, or whatever her name is from Genshin Impact, the robot chick. And we're going to be looking at the Furlova for Withering Waves. I also am interested in seeing Arc Knights for the new Dragon Brother that came out. Um, so there's those things that I'm looking forward to seeing, and I hope all of you guys are also interested in seeing what's up to date right now. So far, we're gonna go from number 50 all the way to 1, from bottom to top. In my honest opinion, if you're making well over a million, I think the game is gonna be okay. I don't think it's gonna be shutting down, unlike some games. But you know, yeah. Let's start off with 50. So we have Love Brush Chronicles. I never played this game before. I see Punishing Gray Raven with a 2.4 million. Not bad. That's a small increase, but the game's doing pretty good. I would like to assume that Punishing Gray Raven is doing well, especially with his collab that's happening or is going to be happening with Devil May Cry. So that's something I'm very interested in. We got Reverse 1999. I played this game for a bit and I stopped playing, but during the time that I have been playing this game, it was quite a wonderful experience. So I'm happy to see that the game is still doing good, but it did drop down by almost like 4 million. So that is quite the hefty price that they threw down. So I wonder what the hell is going on with that. Tokyo Debunker, same. Wow, that's interesting. They're same. I've never played it, but it's pretty interesting. Disney Twisted, never heard. Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. I have a couple friends that use Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, but I've never really understood why they need to drop money for that kind of game. But hey, I love Yu-Gi-Oh! It's always been a good thing. Enjoyed it. Um, Limbus Company. I've heard Limbus Company's story is phenomenal. It's very well written as well as its characters, which is something that's very important. And I've heard that the gacha system is quite reasonable, good, and sometimes one could say even free to play friendly. But that's what I've heard so far. Zero Lane, it's a Guna game, so not surprised it's up there. Epic 7. Um, I've only know about this game because of the multiple ads that just kept on coming out on YouTube. This is even before I even started playing gacha games. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this game is pretty old from what I remember. Uh, One Piece. I'm not really a huge fan of anime gacha games. I mean, I can see Jujutsu Kaisen's also there. Dragon Ball, Naruto. Just not my thing, honestly. I've never really found it appealing to me. But yeah. So, Summoner's War. If I remember correctly, I think this is the same game that I played a long time ago when I was a child. Uh, I don't know what I can say. Maybe a teenager, maybe even. I don't remember to be honest, but I do believe I have played this game before, so that's something to look at. Memento, never heard of it. Brown Dust 2, Guna game. That's why it's still alive right now. Don't know about its story. Emblems, Assemble, Stars, Puzzle and Dragons, Beyond the World, Light and Night, The Seven Deadly Sins, Grand Cross. Okay, this game's got to be good, but again, it's an anime game to a gacha game, something that I've never been interested in. Girls Frontline 2, that's a Gunner game right there. It's really good to see that it is doubled its revenue. That's really good as well to see. They must have something great to drop it, bring it up. On Mijo, I've never heard of that. Cookie Run Kingdom, I've heard great things about it, but it has lost almost half of its revenue. I heard this is a very wholesome game, fun, enjoyable. It's not as grindy from what I have heard, but yeah. There's the One Piece game, Infinity Nikkei. I'm surprised that Infinity Nikkei has almost doubled its no, wait, no, almost doubled its revenue. with all the things that are happening behind, like increased pity system, um, yeah, just increased pity system without letting the players know. That was pretty bad. But just like what I think and what I know other people think, it would be amazing to see another game like Infinite Nikke coming out because, as we all know, Infinite Nikke currently has a good hold on the market on this cross-dressing outfit gacha system that has, and it's really good. It's doing really good. I mean, it's in the 24, so it's successful. So quite clear that it is doing a good job. Silver and Blood, never heard of it, but this game has almost tripled its revenue almost. That's insane. So don't know what it is, but that's good. Hatsune Miku, I'm not surprised. Hatsune Miku is a very famous, just very famous. Um, Blue Archive, I don't. Art, it's a Gooners game, 100% probably. Um, and it's almost doubled its revenue. Um, I don't know. I think the story is great. I have played this game before. The story is great. Um, though I don't really see any reason why people are dropping this load of amount of money. I mean, it's successful, so top 21 there. Persona 5, not a huge fan, but we're seeing the big numbers right here so far. Gakuen increased 1 million, not bad, still doing good. The Battle Cats, never heard of that. Seven Knights Rebirth, never heard of this, but damn, they dropped down 3 times. That's insane. That when in the world happened? They must have had like some kind of anniversary or some kind of big event that must have happened, maybe a collaboration to drop that much. Um, Now, Arknights, the first gotcha game that I truly played. Um, it's a game that I first played, and then it got me into the big opening of the other gotcha games. So, Arknights has a very soft spot for me right here. Um, So it's really good to see that they're doing well. Um, this is during their half year anniversary. Well, I think it's a 6.5, I think. 5.5? Damn, so many years already passed. But yeah, it's their half year anniversary, or yeah, half year anniversary. And they always drop a Chinese dragon or mythological Chinese dragon that is based on it. And it's the Sui brothers or siblings, Sui siblings, and they are insane characters in my honest opinion. Neon, Dusk, Ling, uh, am I missing Shui? Uh, Yush, I think that's the name. Yeah, that this would probably be the 5.5 anniversary actually. Yeah, so there's that. So great to see Arknights is doing well. Uh, Soft spot for them. uh, Withering Waves. Now this is something that really caught me off guard, but at the same time it does seem pretty reasonable on why this happened. um, so the reason why I have to say this is the reason why I'm surprised is that Kuro has dropped so many fire characters. Okay, like they've done a really phenomenal jobs on the type of characters that they are releasing, design wise. Now, when it comes to meta wise, we get a little confusion going on, and a little meta. I wouldn't say it is meta. For Rolova, for example, she's an amazing character. Story wise, one of the best written so far. Um, Story quest, amazing. Top three, in my opinion, in the Withering Waves. If not, maybe even top one or two, fighting against Shorekeeper for the Black Shores arc. But Frolova's kit is very dependent on two limited characters, Roshia and Cantarella. Okay? And not many people pull for Roshia, and there are some, very few, that haven't pulled for Cantarella, though those people are crazy for not pulling on Cantarella. But, three limited characters could limit a lot of people. Okay? So, it's like what I've been saying about how Frolova is probably a crowd control character. Roshia is a crowd control character. It works out very well with those two. Um, I personally would love to pull Roshia just because the voice acting is great. I love the design of the character. Um, but I understand that some people just don't want to pull this character in general. But yeah, yeah, I mean, I understand why Forlova wasn't really doing that crazy over there. Um, that is understandable. For Lupa, which was also released at this time, uh, Lupa is also in the same situation where she needs two other limited characters, Brant and Chang Li. Okay, sure, she might be able to swap out maybe one of the two of the limited characters, but you're not going to get the best amount for Lupa without those two characters, especially with Brant. Brant is a male character, and a lot of people are skipping Brant because, he's a guy, he's not a girl. This game has a lot of people who like chicks. So, and Brant is a sustainer, all right, a very important character for the fusion team that's going on right here. So, that's something that we need to understand that is going on right there. Uh, and let's see. And I do know that the other characters that were released at this time were also something that it's very tough. Changli was also released. Um, and if I'm correct, a lot of people weren't really interested in pulling that character in general. Uh, Simply because they didn't see the full potential of Lupa at this time. Um, but also because there's a lot of correlations that could be going on right there. Uh, and if I am being quite honest right here, a lot of people are also just complaining about not having 4-star characters here. In my personal opinion, this is how I think like this, okay? I personally think that 4-star characters are great, though I believe that they, if anything, the less of a new different 4-stars there are, the better, in my opinion. The reason why is because when you do a 10 pull, right, you're guaranteed to get at least one 4-star, right? Maybe a weapon or a character. If you pull a 4-star character and you already have all their uh, constellations, sigils, whatever, I forgot the terminology, or dupes, let's just say, um, you get basically a discount. It's for 10 pulls, it's actually 9 pulls because you get the premium currency to get a new pull. So my logic is that you're basically getting a 10% deal on it. So one of the reasons why I think it's actually better to have less 4-star characters rather than have more. Though I understand why people want more 4-star characters, adds more variety, adds more character rosters right there, has a better ratio from 5 stars to 4 stars. Something that's going on right here. Um, But yeah, but another reason why I think that the banners haven't been, or a lot of money hasn't been generated in Withering Waves right now so far, is also because of the large amount of leaks and then official leaks. Well, not official, like official releases of the two new characters that are coming out. Iono, I think, or Luno. I don't know if it was an L or an I. And not to mention uh, the ruler of Septimon, the leader. I forgot her name, but they're both being released, and they have a huge hype that's going around with them. Okay, we've seen their animation trailers getting released. We've seen their designs, obviously, the voice acting, and there's a large amount of speculations of what their kits are. Now we know what they are. Now that people are just posting them, as far as I've seen. Um, so I could also see a lot of people actually pulling away from dropping in loads of, uh, astrites and all that stuff. So it makes all sense why Forlova could be doing less of a banner pull right now. Uh, but yeah, no, that totally makes sense. I mean, those two new characters that are coming out next patch are gonna go insane right now, and you gotta save up as much as you can. Not to mention you have to take into account that this is gonna be actually one of the smallest patches that's happening right now. I think it's only like 32 days, maybe. I think 36, compared to your average 40 to 45. So definitely a lot more urgency for people maybe wanting to save for those two new characters as well. Just my 2 cents. Um, Now we go to Dragon Ball Legends. Again, it's a anime to gacha game. Not a huge fan of those things. Monster Strike, never heard. Zenless Zone Zero. I, in my honest opinion, I think Zenless Zone Zero is a very free to play friendly game, and I understand why Zenless Zone Zero isn't been doing. It's doing amazing. Okay, 38 million to 21 million. All right, that's a lot of money to drop down, but that's still 21 million. All right, they're making a crap ton of money. Like that alone, that money alone could sustain them for a year. Okay, it's not a big deal for them. Okay, well, I mean, it is a big deal when you're when you're trying to maximize the amount of revenue you're trying to get. But yeah, yeah, I mean, Zenless Zero, in my honest opinion, is a free-to-play friendly game. In my humblest opinion, I've been playing Zenless Zero. I haven't had the need to drop any much money at all. Like the only time I dropped money was like $5 for the monthly pass for the first time, first when it was first released. No other reasons ever since. Um, so yeah, it's not a big deal in my opinion. Naruto Mobile, I love Naruto. I'm a huge Naruto fan, so seeing that it's doing good puts a smile on my face. But again, it's anime to gacha game, so not really a huge thing. Never heard of Shadowverse. Gundams, I love Gundams, but never heard of this game before. Fate Grand Order, I have a friend that plays it, and the gameplay does not seem exciting or fun. I don't know why people spend this load amount of money in this game. It just does not compute with me. I just don't understand what the excitement is in this game. Though I do find it interesting that if I'm correct, someone correct me if I'm wrong. I've heard that Fate Grand Order was a game to an anime series, basically. Though I don't know if it was from this original state to anime. So I don't know if it was gacha to anime or it was a video game to an anime, but pretty sure it was something to an anime. Um, Now we go to the goddess of victory, Nike. Guna game. It will live forever. Alright, you got those big badonkers that are just popping out on almost every character, showing so much skin as possible. Probably characters with like 5% coverage on them. Alright, it's just gonna stick around forever. Dragon Ball Z, got anime to gacha game, not a fan. Pokemon TCG, I do love Pokemon and I do play the Pokemon TCG Pocket. I find it very interesting, fun. It's not complex, it's very simplistic. Um, but that's what makes it enjoyable for me. It's a simple, just open 2 packs whenever the 24 hours have passed in total, and yeah, there it is. You have a little fun. You get to see these cool new, full art cards that you get instead of getting the physical cards. I just don't drop any money for these kinds of games. So seeing it generate this much money is not surprising because of how much people love Pokemon in general. I mean, the IP is super strong. Okay, so not surprised. Uma Musume. This is a game that I have been seeing is just becoming a huge trend right now. I'm seeing people who don't play gacha games actually starting to play this game. I don't know what's going on. It's like a huge horse race girl game, and a lot of people are just going badonkers over it. I might try it out. I'm not really interested in like race games, but seeing how much hype is going on and it's doing pretty well, it has to be at least a decent game to if not a good game. So that's something that I would like to see and maybe try out. Plus, I've only heard good things about it. I haven't heard any bad things about the system or how it works. So pretty interested. I have heard of the memes about the Zani's JP voice actor. Uh, being in this game, and it's unironically funny as well as shows to tell how good her voice range is and how she's able to act. It's hilarious as hell. You gotta go from Zani, who's exhausted, tired, has got that like deeper voice, I would say, to you know, energetic, jokey, funny character. So it's a little hilarious. Genshin Impact. I don't think they've had posted any new like insane characters. I mean, Nefa looks like a 4-star character in my honest opinion, but the fact that she's a 5-star, it is what it is. But I understand why it's been dropping down. It's not really exciting, nothing really catching up. Aside from that, was there any other characters that was released before her? I can't think about it. Um, I genuinely don't know. The fact that I don't know is more than enough to say that it's probably not a character that's insane. Um, I know Skark was released for the 65, that's the reason why it's 65 million. So that makes sense, but I don't know if there was any other characters released before then or after then. Yeah, probably. I don't remember. But yeah, Genshin Impact is doing well. Um, but yeah. Love in Deep Space, insane. I know a lot of folks are really in love with this game right now. A lot of the women love this game. It has, Monopoly, just like Infinity Nikkei. Uh, Not surprised. These women are just tossing in money right here, and I feel like other gacha games should probably go after that as well. I mean, it's a huge, you know, pot of gold right there that anyone could really take. For the Honkai Star Rail, I am not surprised. The Fate collab really caught a lot of people. Not to mention other banners that were being released at this time, re-releases and such. Um, I have my own issues with Honkai Star Rail, and I have my own loves about Honkai Star Rail. I still do love Honkai Star Rail to the bottom of my heart to the top. It's just a beautiful game that is really expressed a lot. I know a lot of people give a lot of flake uh, for the for the Firefly storyline, as well as I forgot the name of the planet. Damn it, that's not a good look. But that storyline right there for the Firefly was amazing. It really caught my attention. I read through the whole thing. Never found it boring. Um, I really liked it. I really liked the story. Sure, it was long, but for me, I personally didn't mind it. But from what I have seen in the most recent ones, in the recent stories, it hasn't been really exciting. Um, I think the story and the lore is amazing, though I feel like they can cut down a lot of the story dialogue and enough of the black and white screens only. Like, please, let's pop it down a bit. But the fake collab, I've heard only bad things. I have never heard a good thing about the fake collab at all. I've heard that many of the characters, like the fake characters, are JP voiced, which is not a big deal. I'm a JP over dub over all the time. Though I do love um, dub more in gotcha games, but I'm very interested how they, the strike is going on. That's probably why. But um, yeah, no, I heard that a lot of the fake collab characters that were in there, or the few, had no purpose in the story. I think I have also heard that maybe Archer didn't even have any purpose almost in that story for some freaking reason. Um, Sorry for my language if I almost said it. But for that $91 million, that's insane. That's insane. It sends a message that they want you guys, or we want to continue the trend of what they're doing is right. And I think that's very wrong. But hey, it is what it is. I love Honkai Star. I'm happy it's doing good still. But I also wish that, the devs could freaking solve it. And the only way for that to do is, people don't spend money on it and show that, hey, we want a change going on. But again, it's like mixed bags of feelings for me. Honkai Star was amazing, but at the same time, I want there to be changes as well. So, other than that, I mean, that's the revenue report right here so far. I'm overall happy for Arknights. I'm happy for uh, Uma Musume, especially with how much hype it's been getting. I'm sad for Withering Waves, though I'm sure the money is a lot better than everything else. Not to mention, you always have to take everything into a grain of salt here, guys, or a pinch of salt, because these are, not companies aren't like releasing all these statements, and not to mention this is all really estimates, as well as the fact for Withering Waves, there's a little bit of biasism that's going on right now. I mean, I've heard that it involves with Gateo. I think that's his name. Um, the whatever. But yeah, from what I've heard, he's a huge hater of Withering Waves and Kuro in general. So, have her only heard, not know if it's true. But yeah, I think Withering Waves is a little bit better than, actually a lot more better than all the gacha games I've played. Actually, honestly, I do love Withering Waves the most so far. Arknights coming in second or third to Honkai Star Rail. Withering Waves on the same fit on the top so far. Um, but other than that, guys, that's my opinion right there for the gacha. Um, revenue chart for June 2025 to July 2025. All right. But yeah, I hope only for the best for the next update that's coming up. I feel like next month is going to be insane for Withering Waves, especially. For Genshin Impact, I know it's going to be going out for the Nocry characters that are going to be released. So there's a lot of things that are going to be happening right here, and yeah. So far, overall, yeah. Other than that, thank you for all watching, and I leave a comment, like, and subscribe. And thank you again for all being here.